Football is finally back, and today we're going to break down Nahshon Wright. Wright put together a solid performance in his preseason debut with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to show you why I'm so excited about Wright's potential, and if you're a Cowboys fan, why you should be excited as well. Let's break it down. There were two fantastic qualities that I found when I was breaking down Wright's tape. The first thing that got me really excited and that really impressed me was his ability to use his length to disrupt players off the line of scrimmage. In this play, he uses his 6'4" frame to get a hand on the receiver and push this vertical route towards the sideline. This is what I love to see from outside corners on vertical routes, the ability to cut off the middle of the field and give the opposing receiver less space to make a play on the ball. He also has the athleticism to stay sticky in coverage. He allows almost no separation on this play, and the last detail that I want to point out is his recognition of when the ball is in the air. He sees the receiver looking back to track the ball, and as soon as he sees that, he himself looks back to see if he can make a play on the ball. The other thing that was really exciting for me to see from Wright was the edge that he plays with and the physicality that he plays with. You can tell that he has a chip on his shoulder. I personally love when players have a chip on their shoulder and an edge to their game because that inner motivation pushes them to be the best player that they can be. In this first play, Wright shows great recognition to see the slot receiver really going for a bubble screen. And while this was a fake to get the safety to go towards the sideline on this run play, I love that he attacks downhill and he's really physical with this receiver trying to block him. His edge and physicality wasn't just on this single play. It was a trend throughout the game. And in this next play, you're going to see him get up and inside on this receiver trying to block him so that he can control him and shed him if he has to make a play on the ball. Another thing that we were able to see in his debut was his ability to make tackles in space. In this first play, you're going to see how good he is in run support. The Steelers running back is going to try to bounce this run to the outside, and Wright's going to use his speed to track him down and make a tackle on the play. In this next play, Wright's going to be covering the flat in cover 2. The Steelers quarterback is going to throw to his slot receiver on a zig route, and Wright's going to show great instincts to attack the ball carrier and make a tackle on the play. Before we go into some of his weaknesses, I want to go over a detail that's really important when evaluating Wright. The thing that I think is important to note is that he's not overwhelmed by the speed of the game. And while this is only the preseason, he shows a good grasp and he shows great recognition on routes and plays. And this is especially impressive for a rookie. On the first play, he recognized an outside vertical route and he defended the play well. On the second play we covered, he recognized the chance of a bubble screen and he attacked downhill immediately. And in this last play, Wright understands his assignment in zone coverage. He recognizes the zig route underneath and attacks the ball carrier to make it the tackle. The game seems to have slowed down for him a bit and he seems like he's ahead of the curve. There's a few things that we can see in Wright's game that he really needs to improve on if he's going to win a starting job at corner and be an impact player for the Cowboys. He had trouble with his coverage and technique when he was off the line of scrimmage. On this next play, Wright bails out of his back pedal too early and he has his back completely to the play. There's a ton of separation between him and the receiver and he really doesn't have a reason to be bailing so early to get vertical on this play. This play isn't as terrible as it seems because this is likely a cover 3. The opposite corner for the Cowboys is playing off the receiver who's really lined up really tight inside. I know there's a single high safety, so it's likely some version of cover 3. He likely has help towards the inside from a linebacker, but there's no reason for him to try to get to his deep third this early. On this next play, there's a little bit of technique that needs to be cleaned up if he's going to be a great corner in the league. Wright's going to be manned up against Chase Claypool on this play, and Claypool's going to be running a post route. Wright ends up reaching on this play and grabbing thin air, and this is where his technique really needs to improve. Anytime you're reaching and you have your weight over your toes and you're not getting any piece of the receiver, that's where you know you're going to be 100% beat on the play. There's a couple of technique changes that I really think he needs to make to be successful in this kind of man coverage. The Cowboys are going to be running a 5-man front man coverage, which means you're really going to have no help over the middle of the field. With that in mind, Wright should really make the most of his length and take a half step to a step inside. Playing heavy to the insider is going to help him in a couple ways. If it's an outside vertical route or an outside route, he's going to be able to use his length to push the receiver towards the sideline and eliminate space for him to make a play. But if it's an inside route, the receiver is going to have to go through him if he wants to get open on any inside route. Controlling the receiver from his inside shoulder is really going to allow him to be much better in coverage. Nahshon Wright models his game after Richard Sherman, and there's a lot of reasons to be excited about his potential and how he could grow with the Cowboys throughout the season. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. I'm going to be doing a lot more breakdowns of players throughout the league, but if you're a Cowboys fan, you should expect to see a lot of breakdowns of the rookies on the defensive side of the ball. I appreciate the support just by watching the video. Peace.